Welcome to Learn Brizy Page Builder. This is JP, and it's been a while. You may have thought that I've given up on the channel or that I took a one-way ticket to Mars. Neither is the case. It's just been a very busy time, and you can check down below in the description. We've been posting a lot of videos on the other channel called Websites for Beginners. Brizy, as it's not yet fully mature, we're not doing much for that channel yet, but if you are into other page builders, you can go check it out. It's still in its early stages, growing. It will be ready in about 200 years. But until then, let's continue with our tutorials here on Learn Brizy Page Builder. Now, it's ironic, when we started this channel, we here in the Southern Hemisphere was going into autumn, and then we had the freezing cold winters, and now we are having the blazing summer, and we're going to have our hot Christmas just around the corner. So for you guys up in the north, hope you are starting to enjoy the fall and the cooler season. I know many people are complaining they don't want the cold, and we can never be satisfied. And that's how we feel about Brizy at the moment, don't we? It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. We want things to come out quickly, but as they come out quickly, they're a little bit half-baked. I have to give my honest opinion, especially for the Pro version. There's still a lot of work to be done. And the original timeline of having everything ready by October, well, I checked down below in the bottom right-hand corner, and it says 18th of November. So guys, we have to be realistic. We have to adjust it. There's a lot good in this page builder, but there's a lot that needs to be added and a lot that needs to be fixed. And the more we use it and the more we report the bugs, I hope they can be straightened out. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are making websites with Brizy, and every time there's an update, there's a lot of them that's also a little bit unhappy over things changing on their live sites. So if you are going to be using Brizy on a live site, yes, you can, but you have to understand it is still a growing toddler at this moment. Maybe it's still an infant, and you know, when you get to those terrible 3s, or is it not terrible 2s, the teething problems do come. So be aware of that. I love Brizy. I have to tell you, I've been working a lot, especially in the tutorials on Websites for Beginners with other page builders. Every time I come back to Brizy, I just love the user interface. This is probably the strength of Brizy at this moment. And once we can get all those kinks ironed out, and we can get everything working, and we can get all those extra magnificent features and the APIs sorted out, then this is going to be one bomb of a page builder. It can bomb either way. This is a deconstructed video, so what we do is we look at what's going on in the blocks that Brizy provide us and how you can do the same. Now, if you've been following for the Pro version, you will know that they've added some new Pro blocks, and many of these blocks pertain to posts and blogs. And there's also a few new ones that include the updates to the Masonry and the galleries that have been added. And we're going to be looking at that one in this Deconstructed tutorial video. So let's go find that one. Click here on Start Building Your Page, and then you go to All Categories, and you can choose Gallery. If you do not see this one here at the bottom, then follow the following advice. Control F5, that will clear out your cache, and do it maybe 2 or 3 times just to make sure. This is what happened to me, and I found some good advice on the Facebook community to do that, and then everything appeared here. So it wasn't magic after all. So I'm loading this Masonry Gallery, and then immediately we get this. And if yours looks different than mine, it is because of the new styling features that come in Brizy. If you click here on this little brush on the left and you look at the current style, mine is currently set on Parlor. If you change it to anything else, you will see the fonts and the color scheme change. This is something we'll still talk about in another video, because this is a great feature, but still also needs a lot of work because I cannot create my own styles. I cannot save my own styles. And if I change a color over here and I exit, I go somewhere else and I go back to Parlor, it doesn't give me the default. So luckily I know this one is white, so I can put it back. We need a default reset button over here. Otherwise, this can get all really mixed up pretty soon. Let's go and deconstruct the block then here that we have this Masonry Gallery looking very nice. I want to give you some advice ahead. The gallery is awesome. It allows a lot of flexibility, especially for masonry. But it's going to be tricky. You're going to see when you start working with it, it's not going to always do what you expect it to do. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The first thing that you have to look at is the layout. right? You see, you've got these images go from tall, and then they reduce in height, and then you have the opposite from this side. Do not think in terms of the image, the actual content. Rather think in terms of placeholder content. So for example, if I go here and I delete it, it will do this. When you start styling, I would recommend you think like this, because this will help you understand the gallery, the Masonry Gallery, much better than if you try to put certain images in specific places. So we go and create our own block. We go down here to add a new block and then add a blank block. And by default, I always remove the template. The reason I'm doing that is I'm copying what these guys are doing, and they didn't use it. They just dragged the elements directly in, and there are 3 elements here. We've got this text element, then we have another text element, and then we have the gallery element. Let's drag those 3 elements into this one over here. One text, another text, and then the gallery down here. So first of all, you'll notice that our margins are much wider up here than it is down here. So this is all to do with your block. Go to the top right hand corner, click here, go to your settings, and currently the width is set at full. Let's go do the same here for ours. And from here, width, choose full. And now we've set that up. Next is our first title, and they've put it on a heading 1. And then you can see for the color, we've changed or chosen this second swatch, and it has been center aligned over here. Let's go do the same. First, let's change it. We call it Masonry. And that's how you spell it, Brizy. I'll just show you Masonry and Masonry. And then put it on heading 1. Color, we said, is this one. And then center align. Now, this may not be an H1 heading. And if you don't know what H1, H2, up to H5 is, go check a little bit online what the differences are between those heading. And what you need to do is, even though I put it here on heading 1, I'm going to change the HTML tag over here under settings here. I'm going to put it on H2 maybe. That will be up to you. I do like the way Brizy has done this. Many people have asked me why that HTML tag is not connected to the heading. And this comes more from a design point of view. They don't consider heading 1 as a H1. They consider heading 1 as a styling. How do you style it? And then you can designate it over here. If you want to make it H3 or demote it H4, you do that all over here. Good. So you can see just like that, except for the spelling mistake, we have copied them. And then if you go look at what they've done in the more settings, usually this is 10, 0, 10, 0. This is the default setting for the margin. They've reduced that 1 to 5 to reduce the spacing here at the bottom. Let's go do the same. And over here, more settings. You see 10, 0, 10, 0. So I'm just going to highlight, type 5 and enter. Don't even have to enter and it will reduce that a little bit. Let's look at the next one. Click the images for a full view. I'm just going to copy this. I'm not going to type it. Okay, copy. And then let's see what they've done here. It's under subtitle, and it's the 4th swatch from the left, and they've italicized it and also put it in the middle. Let's do the same. Paste the text, subtitle over here, this swatch, and then also put it in the middle, and then italics. It has a lot of spacing here at the bottom. So what have they done is added a gap. If you click on the settings here, you will see gap below. It says 40 pixels that they've added. Let's do that as well. Just going to type it in. Good, and there you see my gap has been added. But look here, no spacing over here. So if I click on this again, and I look at my settings, go to more settings, you will see my margin is 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's do the same. Click on my settings, more settings, and all I need to do is click on this one that links everyone, and then it goes to 0. That's what we've got. Let's quickly then go to our gallery box, and we're going to do the same. This is a problem sometimes here, is something that we have to, I hope they can help us out that in the future bring these things, make it easier to click when you're working in a full width view. Click on that, go to your settings first, and then you see what they've done here for the margins. It's 0, 100, 0, 100. And this will give us this white space on the left and the right. Let's go to do the same. 0, 100, 0, 100. Over here, click there, more settings. Okay, 0, 100, and I'm just tabbing 0, tab, 100, enter. And now we have our layout exactly like these guys here at the top. Now comes the tricky part. Let's first see what they did with this gallery. Click on this one and you'll see the gallery settings over here. They have 5 columns. We can count, or do you want to count with me? Sesame Street, here we go. No, I'm not going to count. We have 5, and then the spacing. 20 pixel is the spacing here. So if you reduce it, it will reduce everywhere until you get this kind of effect. And if you increase it to 20, it will give you 20 uniform across your gallery. You cannot increase this. So if you double click on it and you type in something like 25, it's not going to do that. It will default back to 20. The third option here is they've enabled lightbox. So 5, 20, and the Z lightbox. Let's do this here. I'm going to type in. Can I type in 5? Yes, I can. Tap, tap. Oh, no, tap, tap didn't. It did work. 20. And then over here, activate the lightbox. Right. Are you ready? I told you. Do not think in terms of images. The images you can add later. First think in terms of the layout and the content. So this is what I'm going to be doing, styling them like this. We have altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 images. So I'm just going to add 9 images here. Duplicate, duplicate, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I'm going to start styling it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of control over the Brizy images like this. You can drag it the way you please. The only problem with it is that you do not know the exact height. This is going to be a problem. I am going to estimate it. It's about, what is it? 3/5 of the screen. Now, to be very technical, so I'm going to drag it up here, past that, and then up here. And I'm going to work from left to right and then come down here. Going to drag this one, so you see they incrementally they get smaller. Click on this one, drag it here to about there. Click on this one, drag it. I'm going to leave that one, and then this one I'm going to make it smaller. Now you see it looks really weird. You may not know what's going on. So now I'm going to click on this one, drag it out. You see, this is where it gets interesting. Now we've got it. Click on this one and bring it in. To get it aligned here at the bottom, because I've got a brother in jail over that, is that you have to just judge it with your eye, and you're not going to get it perfect every time. Even the one that they brought in, you can see there's 1 or 2 pixels missing over there, and that's just how masonry most of the time works. Okay, so let's see. This looks fine. This one I'm going to reduce a little bit. This one then reduce it as well. Come on. Okay, there we go. Right, and now we add the images. So you can add your own images, but what is nice with Brizy is that if you bring in this block, Brizy will add these images to your media library. So if I were to click on this one now, and I click up here, click on image, you will see there's the image. I can load it. And bazinga, give it to me, give it to me. Okay, internet is very slow here. Let's do that one. I think this is all in Tokyo. Seems like somebody went for travel in Tokyo. Okay, and then the mountains over here. Mountains. This one is more street. Nice nighttime photography. I appreciate that. Okay, do I get it right? Yes. This one is aerial photography from the sky. Where are you? Over there. Another street. Bum, okay. I do wish if I clicked on an empty image like this, it would automatically open the media browser and that I don't need to click up here again. But currently this is how it plays. Okay, let's see if we got that right. And then another mountain here. Click on it and find the mountain over there. And then click on this one for this. Zoom by. Perfecto. Yes. Copy is my middle name. There we go. Now let's see how the lightbox feature works. Click down here at the bottom on preview, and then it's going to load our page for us in preview mode as if you were viewing it live. And I told you the internet is very slow. It is Sunday here, and in Africa nothing happens on a Sunday. There we go. Right, give it some time to load. This is our box down here, and if I click on it, it's going to open in lightbox view. Brilliant. And click on it to exit. So nice one, deconstructed. It's a little bit getting used to, and if you are in a rush, do not go and do everything by yourself. Simply go and load the block and just change the images to what you want it to be. This is JP here with Brizy Page Builder.